Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian from Whisper Status 74, and this is a very, very special video that not a single one of you has asked for, and I highly doubt any of you are going to care about it. But I figured I'd put it out there anyway, since a lot of our conversation has been about 4K Blu-ray, standard definition, regular Blu-ray, and the improvements you see in each, and the grain structure, and about double dipping and going back and buying classic films on 4K Blu-ray. Now, a lot of you have a ton of Blu-rays, and I have a ton of them as well, and a lot of you are right. I wouldn't be buying a lot of them again in 4K Blu-ray. You guys don't find it's a big enough increase, and the grain structure actually increases. However, if it's a great transfer, I will be repurchasing. But it led me to think of forgotten formats, and one of my all-time favorites is HD DVD. And for those of you who didn't know what HD DVD was, the competing format against Blu-ray in its infancy. One was backed by Toshiba and Microsoft, the other by Sony and, Sony basically, and some other studios, and they split it up. But the PlayStation 3 launched with a Blu-ray player, which made it one of the most expensive consoles ever made, which is interesting. When the PS3 first came out, there was almost no Blu-rays available, which really stalled the launch. Microsoft, in order to combat that, actually launched a add-on to the Xbox 360. This is the HD DVD add-on, and it allowed you to play HDVD discs on your Xbox 360. The challenge at the time, though, was the 360 was only component cable and did not have an HDMI cable yet, or an HDMI cable version. At the time, I also had a 1080i display, and it was one of the very first times that I felt that insecurity of, do you have the wrong TV or wrong equipment in audio visual. Back then, 1080i was king for like 2 months, and HDVDs were coming out. They said 1080p on the back, but 1080i was still considered HD. Later on, 1080p would be considered full HD. So what's interesting is every HDVD disc is also 1080p and also has lossless codecs as far as DTS HD and Dolby HD discrete sound as well. But I really thought that the HDVD format was superior, to be honest. I really thought that it had better picture quality. You can look up the bit rates and all of that, but what I liked better than anything was the HDVDs all had special features. There really was no compromise. Every disc that I have, as I look from my remote, every disc that I have has substantial special features, whether it's commentary. There was not one, at least initially, bare bones HDVD disc, when in reality Blu-ray to this day still has just the movie, maybe the trailer, but HDVD also was the first to include the standard definition movie with it, sometimes on the other side of the disc, which was very, very convenient. But their special features really, really set them apart. They had webcasts and websites attached to each disc. So the commentary alone on the movie The Thing was 80 minutes of documentary. Aside from the commentary, the Blu-ray does not have that. In order for you to find that same documentary, you're going to have to go on to YouTube and actually find it. So it also has this 360 remote, very, very useful. I also have not had this hooked up in years. It was in my projector for like a minute. My wife didn't care about the movies I was going to plug in, even though a lot of them are classics that I did not buy on Blu-ray. It just seemed redundant to have all this equipment connected and adapters and long plugs and everything else, so we didn't bother. But this is the first time that this HDVD has really been with a working receiver and a full 4K. I don't know, I'm just kind of excited about it. I thought you guys might appreciate it, especially you cinephiles. It also was, the Xbox 360 Elite is one of my favorite systems of all time. And I've been on the wrong side of many format wars, guys. I was too young for beta VHS, but not that I wasn't alive, but HDVD, I was on the wrong side of that one. TurboGrafx 16 was a failed system I really loved, and you all know and love the Sega Dreamcast. But really quickly, I want to show you how this one works, but it has the same pop-up menu as a lot of DVDs, and some of them don't have it. But it was like almost every single one of these had a special feature. And that was pretty substantial. And I'm not sure if the Blu-ray version of this had it, but I know a lot of them didn't. But it also had the online visit us for the latest Warner HDVD. It had commentary, all kinds of cool stuff. But really, really great at the time. I mean, it was really a big jump over DVDs, which a lot of them had nothing unless they were considered special edition. Some of these films I didn't go back to. The Warriors Special Edition on HD DVD. Sorry about the shakiness. I can't get the pause menu off, but some of these movies haven't been touched in years. I picked up some of them at launch, King Kong, a few of the originals, and then years later, I got them all on High Def Digest, which was one of my favorite websites back in the day, for like 50 cents back in the early days of Amazon. But here is how it works. This is the Xbox 360. This is the adapter, HDVD. It's very simple. And go right back to it. USB, HDMI. Now this obviously isn't where it's going to sit. I'll probably put it back in the corner somewhere by the PC. But I'm just very excited to go back and watch some of these movies. I mean, I haven't watched Warriors in years. And to be honest, I always thought it looked better than Blu-ray, and I think it still looks pretty amazing. Now, it's a 4K TV, so I had to turn some of the settings down, but I'm actually very impressed. What I liked really a ton about a lot of these movies with HD DVD is many of them were full screen. I've already played Lethal Weapon, The Shining, Mad Max was the only one that had black bars so far. But full screen, I mean, this really gives you that theater feel. And to be honest, I don't mind the grain structure at all on these HDVD films. I guess I've just kind of come to terms with it. But here are some of the films that I have. Some classics, some not. Dog Day Afternoon, Deliverance, Deer Hunter, Unforgiven, Streets of Fire, Guilty Pleasure. The Bourne movies, all the Harry Potter movies I had on this. 300 is one of the original ones, especially King Kong. Batman Begins as well. The Mission Impossibles, The Mummies. I guess I have a double of the Transformers. Pitch Black, 2001, which is coming out on 4K. Children of Men, all the Matrixes. Casino, Hiroshima Jima, Manchurian Candidate, Meet Joe Black. Superman the Movie, The Bachman. I had a lot of movies. Goodfellas. Road Warrior. I mean, really, really love this format, guys. I wish I could show you some of it in motion, but I'll get hit with a copyright in like 2 seconds. Now, there are some drawbacks to going back down memory lane. Is that a lot of these discs have not been turned on in years, and some of them don't work. Meaning they'll load and they'll spin in a player and they just won't function. They have not been touched in a while. I've seen that with old CDs too. But I'd say a good amount of them work. You can find HDVDs if you really want to. 1080, just make sure that you find the Toshiba, I think it's AC30. You can look it up on eBay. And you can probably get one of them for 50 bucks with like 50 movies included. Just make sure you get the one that's 1080p. So look in the specifications and you can get yourself about 50 movies for probably 50 bucks with the player. Just really make sure it's the 1080p version. There was a lot of 1080i ones initially. So it's been fun. It's had its frustrations as some of the favorite ones that I've tried to put in don't work. And obviously it's not that big a deal. I can buy them on Blu-ray. But anyway, it's been a fun little jaunt back in history. HDVD, right there. It won't stay there, obviously. I'll probably wrap it right back up and hide it in the back. But a little piece of history. Really, really good format that just didn't make it. Had some awesome movies. And the picture quality was actually very, very good. I'm very impressed with it. And I'll go back and watch some of these documentaries that I never watched before. But I want to share that with you guys. Some of you cinemaphiles will appreciate it. And some of you guys might even remember jumping in on HDVD. Tell me if you had this format, if you enjoyed it, if you still kept it, or if you're interested in picking them up on eBay. All right, guys, thank you as always, and I will talk to you soon. HD DVD.